I'm Sister Geralyn, and you're listening to Musings from a Catholic Evangelist. Some time ago, when I was teaching in middle school in Jersey City, New Jersey, I was into what they call holistic teaching. So you took a theme and you spared it through the entire curriculum. And this one unit, I was teaching colonial America. So we learned how to churn butter, we learned how to make bread, we learned how to grind wheat into flour. And the amazing thing about that is we took that whole concept and we brought it into religion class, in which the students took wheat, ground it into flour, and made the unleavened bread for our Eucharistic celebration. That week, Father came into our class and actually had Mass on my desk, which was like the first time it was ever cleared off completely flat, put an altar cloth on, candles, and the whole 9 yards. So there was a indeed connection between the time it takes to prepare for a dinner back in the colonial America and even that action into making something sacred. I can't help of thinking of that experience when we continue our reflection on give us this daily bread. There's a hunger that all of our hearts experience. There's a hunger that it's almost on a famine level worldwide. And I'm not talking about, bread or food generally, though that is a distinct need. But I'm talking about the famine and the hunger that we have for God. God has created a place in our heart for Him. And until we open that part of our heart for Him, we will never know true peace, we will never know true happiness, and we'll never know true joy. But that hunger doesn't end with, saying, I'm full now. No. And go to sleep. No. That hunger makes us pause and think about how we can share how we're being filled where our feet are, which means how we share being filled in our workplaces, in our church community, in our schools, wherever our feet are. How do we proclaim Christ's presence? How do we proclaim your relationship with God? Now, I'm not talking about beating a drum or a pot, the Lord is... No, I'm not talking about that. It's how do you react and how do you respond to the people around you? Do you respond out of love? Even in those moments of utter frustration, those moments in which you just get completely annoyed and frustrated. Do you walk away out of respect for this other person that's driving you nuts? That's about experiencing the hunger that only God can fill. Saint Thomas Aquinas has a great quote about this hunger. He says, "The Eucharist is our daily bread. The power belonging to this divine food makes it a bond of union. Its effect is then understood as a unity, so that, gathered into His body and made members of Him, we may become what we receive." We may become what we receive. So when we partake of the Eucharist, when we're truly open to the grace of that moment, we become more like Jesus. Do we own that? Do we bring that reality to our workplaces, to our places of study, and to our families? Do we experience the fullness of our hunger being filled by Him and sharing with other people? The bottom line is that it takes time. It takes time to grind the wheat into flour. It takes time to knead the flour into bread. It takes time to churn the butter, as my students learned so many years ago. It takes time. Time is one of those gifts that God gives us. I'm asking you not to squander it, but to know that if you are constantly striving to open up yourselves deeper and deeper and deeper to the presence of God, there is where the fullness of time comes. There's where you become a true evangelist to his love. There's where the ability to understand, give us this daily bread, is enfleshed within your being. You're listening to Musings from a Catholic Evangelist, and I'm Sister Geralyn.